What's good, everyone? It's your boy Nazi with another video for the channel. Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone. And today we have another one of our weekly Washington football team streams. And today we have Rico from Street Scores and Brandon, the Cowboys fan that you guys saw on the title of this video, who are both going to be joining me on this call. And we'll be talking about everything Washington football team, but also the division, because of the fact that, if we win this week, then we win the division. But the Cowboys are technically still in things, the Giants as well. So we'll talk about all of that in this live stream. But to get things started, Rico, can you talk to me a little bit about some of your last thoughts on the Haskins release from earlier this week? And do you think he'll be able to actually latch on to another team, or is his football career over at this point?
So first of all, once we benched him, I already knew. Ron Rivera showed that when he got here, I'm acquiring this quarterback based on the team that he was already on that I'm hired for. I have no attachment to him. If he gives me any excuse to get rid of him, he's gone. And once he gave him even enough of an excuse to get benched, I already knew the writing was on the wall. It was only a matter of time. I mean, to go from first string to third string is not based on play. That's not play. That's a lot of everything else off the field. So I definitely think Dwayne Haskins, just off of arm talent alone, somebody's gonna give him an opportunity. Like it's gonna happen. It may not be this season, may not be next season, but I think somebody's at least gonna bring him onto the practice squad. Because I mean, it's similar to the Josh Rosen situation a little bit, but again, Dwayne Haskins just has a way stronger arm, and like he has a lot of lowlights, but his highlights just look really good. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some coach out there that thinks he can just outsmart everybody else and be like, I can figure this out type of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish him well, but I mean, he clearly didn't take this serious enough. I mean, I don't leave the house because of COVID. Like I literally, all my friends want to play basketball. I'm like, bro, I'll wait till we're done. It's been almost a year now and I'm sad, but I'm just trying to stay safe. So for him to be at a strip club with no mask on is just like, well, it was like in an apartment and they had strippers there and it was his girlfriend. It's just inexcusable in my eyes. Like I don't excuse any reason for any of that to happen. So that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, he's not taking this seriously enough. I know people were already saying it behind the scenes, but I was like, I'm just gonna have to see it. I mean, he showed immaturity here and there with random comments, random actions, but that was like the nail in the coffin of like games. Yeah, so like that was the nail in the coffin. Like, yeah, he clearly doesn't care about his future enough. He's not one of those guys that thinks far ahead enough. He's more in the now and just living life and enjoying. I mean, he thought he was on top of the world. Ohio State drafted to one of his hometown teams at first round. Thought he was on top of the world. And so yeah, again, to summarize, I think he'll go somewhere, and I'm not entirely too sure if he'll work out or not. Again, the talent is there. It's just up to him to focus and go into an offensive situation that's willing to deal with a quarterback that's not mobile. And I mean, now with more and more mobile quarterbacks coming in, it's going to be hard. That's why I don't even want like a Kyle Trask or something, because I don't want to go through this possibly again. I want somebody that's a dual threat. At least be, like a Pat Mahomes, Dak Prescott mobile. I mean, at least be able to move something. You know what I'm saying? That's why Tyler Heinicke brought out such an electric offense, because it's between him and Kyle Allen, the most mobile quarterbacks we've seen. The difference is Tyler Heinicke is mobile but safe. I mean, you saw Kyle Allen just constantly taking hits when he runs out of the pocket. Tyler Heinicke was able to get out of bounds. He was able to throw it on the run.
Though, right?
Sample size. The sample size. Sample. But Kyle Allen's sample size at first was small. When the Rams game, he took that big hit when he should have just slid or got out of bounds. So it just shows that Scott Turner clearly prefers a mobile quarterback. So, I mean, if Scott Turner and Ron Rivera were here before Dwayne Haskins were here, they would have never drafted him. It would have never happened, especially with how much control Ron Rivera has. We've seen that Dan Snyder, you saw the reports coming out that that like Kyle Smith was like, bro, please do not take this guy. Like, please, I do not want Haskins. Why are you doing this type of thing? And Dan Snyder was like, nope, we're taking him. Nobody else wanted him. Bruce Allen didn't want him. Jay Gruden didn't want him. Kyle Smith didn't want him. But I feel like Ron Rivera has enough power and enough pull that it's clearly shown that like Dan Snyder won't meddle and micromanage anymore. So I think that enough is a good reason for us to be excited about the future. Dan Snyder's out the way finally.
Yeah. Before Brandon, you go ahead and give your thoughts on it. I do want to recognize all the people in chat. He got sports. Tone, I am well. How are you? I see Patrick Weston here as well. King Sean, as always. Thank you guys, as always, for the support on these live streams. But Brandon, what are your thoughts on the whole Dwayne Haskins situation from sort of like the outside looking in?
So kudos to Ron Rivera for getting rid of Haskins, continue to set the culture because over the summer he let go of Darius Geis and was not afraid of doing so. So that's two young guys drafted either round 1 or round 2 who are gone. As far as going to another team, I heard Ian Rapport say yesterday that Carolina is amongst multiple teams looking at bringing them in. Regardless of where he goes, he's going to either take a second string or third string job and sit down, be quiet, learn the playbook, and become a better pro quarterback if he ever wants to be a starter again. He can become a starter again. He just had to want to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, as you guys saw, like in my reaction video, I mean, it was about time. You know, it always sucks to see like a hometown product who plays for the hometown team ultimately not work out for that team. And we saw that with Haskins. His immaturity was just way too much. And I mean, it was at the point where like his immaturity couldn't really back like what he was doing on the field, if that makes sense. Like he didn't produce enough for you to sort of just mask all the immaturity problems that he showed. A little bit in college, but even more so on the pro level. We saw that with the pressers. We saw that obviously with the COVID incident, which was just mind-boggling stupid. But he ultimately did it. And I hate, again, I say this literally on the last couple of streams actually, but I hate the idea that, oh, he's 23, he's young, like, you know, that's just a young and like stupid mistake and stuff. I don't like the idea of attaching youth to that. That was just like a stupid mistake in general. And I think, you know, even, you know, me being just like 20 years old, I understand like COVID is a big thing and you shouldn't be doing those sort of things. And I mean, for him, for a professional athlete, for an athlete in the NFL to do sort of those things like that, that's really mind boggling once again. But I think in terms of teams, I actually think Pittsburgh might be the best fit because of the fact that they do have Big Ben up there. And Haskins, like Brandon said, he could sit behind him and really humble himself if this release didn't already humble him, and really just sit behind Big Ben, see how he operates. And then ultimately when Big Ben retires or when Pittsburgh releases him, maybe, I don't know, but Haskins could sort of, you know, become that starter in Pittsburgh or maybe vie for that starter spot. But that's my thoughts on like the whole Dwayne Haskins situation. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we're in for a divisional battle on Sunday. That's more important. And like Ron Rivera said, let's focus on what's interesting, or what's important rather than what's interesting. So moving on from that, I was wondering, what are you guys' thoughts on Taylor Heineken, or Heineke, as Chase Young said, his performance last week off the bench? And would you rather have Heineke or Smith play this week? And we'll start with Brandon.
Okay. I know health is because they saying that Alex Smith needs to be like ready to go tomorrow for him to probably play Sunday. Yeah. But you know, he's a great decision maker. If Heineke plays, this will be his second career start. Because his first one was in Carolina where he threw like 50 passes but threw like 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown. So if Heineke plays, you all need to minimize how many passes he has. I don't know the strength of his game, and I didn't watch the game because Dallas was on at the same time. So, I mean, Alex Smith, like I said, is a decision maker. He's a better. I'm not saying he's a better decision maker, but he's a veteran. So, for all the marbles to try and make the playoffs, you want Alex Smith out there if possible.
Okay, where you go?
It's like because it's a small sample size, and I don't want to believe in it too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to look at that fourth quarter and be like he can do that for 4 quarters, because no quarterback on this team has. As much as people praise Alex Smith, he's at best given us 2.5 quarters this season per game. I mean, the Steelers game until that last drive in the second quarter going into halftime. From there on, he actually started giving us at least, you know, pretty decent, good average, you know, around average quarterback play. Before then, he was bad. He wasn't Haskins bad, but I mean, he was bad. So we haven't been getting anything consistent out of anybody. We know Kyle Allen with the highs and lows. So I don't know. I mean, that's the best our offense has looked in a singular quarter all season, period. No matter, like, if you isolate any quarter from any game, that's the most explosive our offense was. I think it's, first of all, just because he, his ability to throw deep, like willingness to, because Alex Smith's arm isn't as bad as people hype it up to be. He just isn't necessarily willing to throw it deep all of the time. He just prefers the check downs. Haskins, yeah, check down Allen. Haskins is dangerously inconsistent, and Kyle Allen was like a different type of inconsistent. He would give you a great play one drive and then just the dumbest interception the next one. So, I mean, again, singular quarter-wise, Tyler Heinicke is the best quarterback play we've seen all season. But at the same time, like Brandon said, when it comes to our marbles, you want to play it safe with how good this defense is, Alex Smith may be the best option. But what's swaying me to Taylor is literally just because I don't know if Alex Smith is – I mean, it's whether or not you feel like Alex Smith at 80% of 80%. Because remember, this season's Alex Smith is not Kansas City or 2018 Alex Smith. That's like 80% of that we've been getting all season. So I can't even necessarily blame him for the issues he's had. He's less mobile, and it's harder to, plan off your foot when after a drastic injury like that. He shouldn't even be playing. That's a miracle in itself. And then now this calf injury, this, like, I remember a doctor broke it down and basically said – a calf strain normally is day-to-day for people, but because he already lost a lot of muscle during his surgery to fix his leg, that may be like a lingering injury that he may have to deal with for the rest of his life type of thing. Like, it's going to affect him in some way. So we're getting 80% of 80% Alex Smith, and it's just whether or not you feel like that's good enough versus Taylor Heinicke. Don't think of it as like Alex Smith in his prime. Don't even think about it as Alex Smith versus the Detroit Lions. This is if we get that percentage. So I don't know. I mean, it just like Brandon said, it's going to depend on how he looks tomorrow. Like, it's really hard to cast a vote. Like, boy, Taylor Heinicke, up until that fourth quarter, hasn't looked good throughout his career. I mean, preseason games, like Brandon said, the one time he started for Carolina. So I don't know if it just randomly sparked in his head, or, I mean, the Panthers weren't playing prevent defense, so I don't like the narrative like he was just throwing to prevent defense and they were just giving them underneath. They were, playing a pretty balanced defense. He was just doing a good job of, performing, but Panthers didn't have a week to prepare for him. Eagles will have a week to prepare for him. It's really flipping a coin. It's really hard. I might have to answer that at the end of the stream because I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
No, that's completely fair. Like, I probably am in like the same position right now. I do want to say though, like, I completely agree with your point about Heinicke probably giving us the best quarterback play that we've had in a long, long while. And that's not saying much, I guess, because our quarterbacks have been terrible over the last couple of years. But the sample size is really small, and I don't know. If Alex Smith is healthier than he was a couple weeks back, right before he ultimately left the game, then I think you just have to roll with Smith. And I think it's looking that way. Although, again, like you guys said, we'll know for sure probably by tomorrow night whether Alex Smith will be the starter on Sunday. But again, like I liked Heinicke. I liked what he produced. I liked the fact that he wasn't afraid to push it down the field, which might be pretty important against the Eagles, right? Because their cornerback group isn't too hot right now outside of Darius Slay. The secondary in general isn't too hot right now. Cowboys took advantage of that last week. So, I mean, it's tough because I mean, people know on this channel as well, like, I'm not the biggest fan of like Alex Smith in terms of like his on the field quarterback like play since he's been in DC. And obviously I know there's been a huge gap in between, his play this year and when he played for us in 2018. But I don't know, he is Mr. Conservative, Mr. Check Down, and I mean, I guess we could win with that against the Eagles. You have the leadership as well. You can never forget about that at the quarterback position. So it should be interesting. I'm pretty much in the same boat as you, though, Rico. I'm not going to lie. But we shall see by tomorrow. But moving on from like the quarterback position, I was wondering, what are you guys' thoughts on like the whole Terry McLaurin like situation? And he missed last week, and right now it looks like he might miss this week. Do you think our wide receiver group will be able to withstand the loss of Terry McLaurin against the Eagles secondary, or do you think we'll continue to struggle? What are you guys' thoughts on that? And we'll start with Rico this time.
So I feel like it's a balance of two things, because if there were a secondary in this league that you want to go against without Terry McLaurin, the Eagles may be one of them. It may be one of the ones out of our 16 game schedule. They may be the secondary that I would probably point at and be like, you know what, without Terry, I'd probably want to face the Eagles. But at the same time, Terry McLaurin does so much for an offense. I mean, him demanding almost a double team, at least a safety over the top to watch him, opens up not just other receivers, but the run game. Because, I mean, you can't stack the box. You can't put 8 in the box because you have to worry about Terry McLaurin at all times now that we have Logan Thomas also involved and J.D. McKissick underneath. That was like a nice 3-headed pass-catching monster that, you know, teams had to allocate a certain amount of resources to watch all of them. Without Terry, they're just basically like, Logan Thomas can't run past this. J.D. McKissick usually isn't going to try to, even though he did that one play from Taylor, that really nice touchdown that he threw. So, I mean, just generally without Terry McLaurin, we don't really have anybody that can take the lid off the defense. And that makes it harder to run the ball. They're going to, you know, have more defenders closer to the line of scrimmage because of that. It's going to make it harder for Alex Smith and Taylor to throw the ball, whichever one plays. But again, if there were a team that I'll be like, maybe without Terry we'll be straight, it's the Eagles. So I think we'll be all right. I mean, for the most part, we're just going to lean on our defense for this game. We're going to hope that the defense can just shut down Jalen Hurts and then whoever's out there quarterback can just run the ball well enough and dump it all well enough to just put up enough points to beat the Eagles. Because I mean, with how good our defense is and Jalen Hurts, who everybody was raving over for a little while, I've been saying it even when he was having his good games. I didn't like him coming out of college because he's a bad decision maker. And now it's starting to catch up to him. Now the teams are starting to, you know, put film to him, watch film, see what his weaknesses and strengths are, and exploit them. I feel like, honestly, you put up 20 points, you win this game. I don't think it requires that much. I don't see the Eagles scoring 20 points on this defense.
Okay. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so, again, both our games were on TV. So while y'all were probably watching the game, you probably didn't see what we were doing. For the most part, we were avoiding Darius Slay. They had some unrookie free agent cornerback from Home Depot out there getting torched by Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. Even one play got torched by Tony Pollard, but the ball didn't go his direction because I think they ended up doing a check down to Zeke on that play. So, I mean, he was getting torched by everybody. So, you know, if he's out there they eventually put Jalen Mills out there, so it helped. But, I mean, if he's on the field, look for him, target him the whole time. I don't care who your receiver is. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Even without Terry, just give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, I think Rico hit the nail on its head. Like, Terry, him not being on the Washington football team offense is much bigger than, you know, losing, I guess, that production from him. Like, you also have to consider the immense attention that defenses, that he garners from defenses, opposing defenses, week in and week out. And it's going to suck to likely not have him this week once again. But another thing that I've been frustrated with the last couple of weeks really is sort of Cam Sims. And we all thought that he showed some flashes earlier in the season, even through the winning streak that we had. But I mean, last week especially, he was dropping a lot of passes. And we all know about Steven Sims and his ability to drop passes every single week. I always say he's in for a drop a week, and last week it was a fumble. But Cam Sims, that's been sort of frustrating, right? Taylor Heineke threw some nice balls on Sunday, and Cam Sims couldn't really bring the passes in. And hopefully that can change this week, whether it's Alex or Taylor starting. But it's a loss. It's a big loss. I do have faith that Antonio Gibson will be factored in more this week, and that'll definitely help our offense get going. I mean, we all saw last week he was actually pretty good, but for some reason, Scott Turner didn't end up using him at all, I believe, in the fourth quarter. And I know we were down by a lot of points, but you need to feed your playmakers. And if you have very limited playmakers like Gibson, McKissick, and Logan Thomas, you just got to feed them, right? So I think we'll be able to manage, though. I think what Rico mentioned about the Eagles secondary and what Brandon did as well definitely goes in our favor and will allow us to win despite the loss of Terry. But moving on from Terry, though, and I just mentioned him, but Do you think Antonio Gibson has actually solidified the running back 1 spot here in DC, especially after what he showed last week? After being out a couple of weeks because of turf toe, and or do you think the Washington football team should maybe add a running back in the offseason? What are your thoughts on the position as a whole? We'll start with Rico as well.
So I feel like Antonio Gibson has done enough. We're gonna have to see him over a longer span of games because remember, even while he was playing, his pass protection was so bad, like in the beginning of the season, that he wasn't in on third downs. Now his pass protection has improved. Then he got hurt. So we haven't gotten like a full, like a good enough sample size to really know how good he is. But then you see the potential, you see the highlights, you see the athleticism, you see the ridiculous speed, the versatility. Breaking in Go fan all day. And then it's just, without him, you see how much of an impact he has just when he's not there, because J.D. McKissic and Peyton Barber are good. Yeah. J.D. McKissic was a great free agent signing, but they just can't do what Antonio Gibson does with making people miss and getting those extra 4 yards after contact and things like that. Peyton Barber, 3rd and 1, bring him in to run somebody over for that 1 yard. That's good. But 1st and 10, I don't want Peyton Barber getting the ball. And to me, J.D. McKissic just plays a slightly different role, so he's not in competition with them, in my opinion. I feel like who we need to look at maybe is Bryce Love, if he's able to come back, if he's able to be fully healthy. Yeah, if ever, because that's the thing, because during the weird COVID training camp we had, Ron Rivera said like 1 practice or 2 that he looked like our most explosive running back. He looked like potentially our best running back on roster, even while Adrian Peterson was there. But can he stay healthy? Can he do it consistently? And those are things we have absolutely no idea what's going on with Bryce Love at this point. We just know he's too hurt to play. But right now, I think Antonio Gibson's good enough. Even without Bryce Love, I like the 3-headed monster of Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissic, and Peyton Barber, especially since they're not being paid much money anyway. Yeah. Maybe you bring in another guy way later in the draft and unrestricted free agent. James Robinson, unrestricted free agent. Like, you don't have to really draft a running back in the first 3 rounds anymore, unless it's just some generational we already know. But then even we've seen Todd Gurley hurt over and over again. We've seen Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott. It's just running backs don't really make it to that second contract. Is it really worth giving up a high round pick for that? So I think we're pretty straight bringing some guys, unrestricted free agents, maybe some low cost free agents to compete. But if we go into 2021 with this exact running back group with Antonio Gibson healthy, I'm happy.
Yeah. Brandon?
All right, so first let me address this young man in the comment section talking about ain't nobody watching the Cowboys game. First of all, the TV ratings will say something different, but okay. Yeah, see some games, but do you really need a running back one these days? This is not 1992 anymore. This is 2020. We're now here with Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders or Curtis Martin or running backs like that. So we keep using running back by committee. It really keep the numbers low, so you don't have to really pay them much on the second contract. Would you probably give him a second contract? Yeah, but you probably won't give him like $12 million a year. So everybody's cheap, running back by committee, and if you need to bring a running back in, you may bring a running back in, but it'd probably be like round 7 or something, a rookie free agent. That's probably about it. But next year, you may want to bring somebody in to maybe replace Peyton Barber or something. I don't know how old he is.
Not too old.
Okay.
No, I think, to keep it short and simple, I think our running back group is good as is. Maybe like Rico said, add someone late in the draft, but I think we need to spend most of our draft capital, most of our free agency dollars on other positions on the offense that need much improvement, like the wide receiver position. Maybe I would like to add another tight end, another elite tight end. If not, maybe a rookie tight end that we draft. And then obviously the quarterback position, we need to get that shored up. So I think the running back position, really the last couple of years has been pretty solid, hasn't really needed too many, additional pieces every single offseason. So, and, with it being 2020 with the NFL the way it is, I think you could do just as fine with a running back, wide receiver hybrid as we have in Antonio Gibson. But I do, we have the Cowboys fan on here. I see a lot of people, well, not a lot, but some people roasting the Cowboys fan on here. Let's talk about the division, and let's talk about what team do you guys think? So put records aside, right? Put chances of actually capturing the division crown aside. What team do you guys think is the best team in the NFC East right now? And we'll start with the Cowboys fan.
Right now, Dallas playing the best ball because they force the turnovers and they get wins. So,
Would you like to expound a little bit more on the Cowboys?
No, I'm just laughing because man, this guy, I don't know who. I don't know how old he is. So he got jokes or whatever. That's cool.
No.
Shoot. Okay, so yeah, Dallas right now they forcing turnovers. They've had 10 turnovers in 3 games. Okay, so they playing the best ball right now. Philadelphia, forget it. Giants pretty much forget it. So again, it's coming down to you guys and us. And right now we're playing the best ball. But if you all can get Alex Smith, I know y'all missing Terry McLaurin, that's bad. But if y'all can get Alex Smith back, that could help y'all out. Because I don't know how much longer we're gonna be able to average 3 turnovers a game.
Okay. There you go.
And so are we talking like literally today, or if everybody were healthy? Like literally what at the current state with Dak out?
Yeah, so let me rephrase that. So going into Sunday, right? Like with all the information that we're getting about who's healthy, who's not, who's going to play, who's not. Going to Sunday, going into week 17, what team in the NFC East is like the best right now?
Okay, bet. So basically, as if all 4 of us had to play a small tournament, 2v2, one plays the other, then the bracket, then those winners play each other. It's this quarterback position, man. I don't know. Alex Smith on half a leg, and Taylor Heineke, we don't know. Again, the Cowboys have the momentum. They've been playing really well as of late, but I do feel like we're more talented. So like it's I don't know. I think like if we had to face Dallas, like us personally, I think we beat them. Me personally, so my answer would be Washington football team. But again, this quarterback position, if Taylor Heineke can give us that 4th quarter for at least 2, maybe 3, we're easily the best team. But I'm just not sure if he can do that again, because we've seen from previous starts or previous experiences in preseason, and we've seen from Alex Smith that we're getting 80% of 80%. I don't know if that's good enough. Our defense is better than the Cowboys overall. Now they're getting turnovers because finally Byron Jones is gone. He was a great corner, but he just couldn't get interceptions to save his life. So now that he's gone, the team is actually starting to take the ball away. So yeah, man, I think it's us, but I don't think the Cowboys are too far behind. Like, I think if we were to play the Cowboys again, I think the score would be way closer than it was the previous 2 matchups. I feel like their team is heating up. They're starting to learn how to play better ball, but I do think it's us right now.
Yeah, I agree with Rico. I think the Washington football team is the best team in the division right now. I would say if we had Dwayne Haskins as their starting cornerback going into week 17, I would probably actually say the Cowboys, just because of how I feel about Haskins and him just not being good whatsoever. But I think even with Heineke or Smith, really, I think we are the best team because I believe, I forgot who mentioned this on ESPN, but someone mentioned, I believe it was Dominique Foxworth actually, but there's only one unit in this entire NFC East that you could trust week in and week out, and that is the Washington football team defensive line. And I think that is what's sort of giving us the edge over the Cowboys, right? I know the Cowboys have great receivers, although maybe they're not the most consistent bunch in the league. Quarterback play could be good some weeks, could not be good other weeks, just like us really. And their defense also is super inconsistent, and at its worst is really bad, and then at its best is okay. So I think Washington football team, we have the advantage of having a very good unit and one of the best units, if not the best unit on the defensive line in the entire National Football League. So I think that's what's giving us the edge and what's giving us the number 1 spot right now in the division, actually. But I do want to get into the matchup, actually, the Washington versus Philadelphia matchup for Sunday, as well as the Cowboys versus Giants matchup a little bit later. But with the Washington versus Eagles matchup, first and foremost, do you think our defense can actually contain Jalen Hurts? Because I know Rico mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Hurts didn't have the greatest of games last week against the Cowboys, right? I believe he caused a couple of turnovers. So do you think our defense can contain him? Because especially the fact that we don't really do too well against dual threat quarterbacks. Do you guys think we'll have a chance? And we'll start with Brandon this time.
All right, so what we did against Hurts was okay. So first we struggled, but then it got better because when we went into a 3-2-6 defense, we had our crazy corner, who's a special teams standout, CJ Goodwin, spy on him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a crazy, I don't know who your crazy athletic corner is, but if you have one, get him to spy on Jalen Hurts, and we start dropping back a zone coverage, and Jalen Hurts was struggling from then.
I feel like Cameron Curl could maybe do a little bit of that, even though he isn't really a corner, but he's sort of a versatile. Your thoughts, Rico?
Well, you need one of your crazy special team DBs out there to do that, then.
Yeah, maybe Khalil Hudson. Never know. He's starting to emerge a little bit, doing a little something.
That's right, 3 turnovers.
Yeah, I feel like we may not be able to cause 3 turnovers because I think after a game like that, you're like, all right, let me buckle down, be smarter, better decision making. If anything, be more passive. But I do think I think they'll get less yards. I think we'll have more sacks and things like that. And I think we're primed to beat them. I mean, because I keep saying this every time we go against a mobile quarterback. If I were a mobile quarterback, our defense is the one I don't want to play, especially this defensive line with Chase Young and Montez Sweat, who are able to literally chase you down from behind. I mean, you're past the line of scrimmage. You think you might get 20. You only get 5 because Chase Young grabs you from behind. So it's little things like that just add up. And I just feel like our secondary is better than they get credit for. And I think if we just rush 4 like we typically do, and like Brandon suggested, we have somebody just relatively spy on Jalen Hurts somewhere in the area, keeping track of him, and everybody else back in coverage, I can't necessarily see how they move the ball, especially now that Jonathan Allen is playing like an all-pro finally. We're finally getting the Jonathan Allen we wanted that when we drafted him, so that him and Deron Payne is stopping the run. And I think we just rush 4, have the other 7 back, maybe 1 in the spy, 6 back coverage. I just can't really see how they can move the ball that well. Now I'm worried about our offense also with the quarterback situation. But first of all, their team is super hurt. I've never seen an injury report like that. I mean, it's to the point that it just seemed like they might as well just throw some people on IR. It was like 8 did not participate in practice today. And then there was like a few others limited. They're going in like half the team they should be. And that's really bad considering what they were the first time we played them. They were already really hurt. Now they're even more hurt. So I think we win this. I do think we win this. Jalen Hurts, I think we can mitigate a lot of that. I mean, again, I'm not as high on Jalen Hurts as a lot of people. A lot of people saw the flashes, but I was like, bro, this is the same guy from Alabama, Oklahoma. He shows you flashes, but he's just a bad decision maker. He just throws it into double coverage for no reason in the red zone. If anything, just throw it out of bounds, take the 3 points. Like he does stuff like that. He has that little Daniel Jones gene in him a little bit, where it's just I gotta throw this turnover. I don't know why, but I have to. Some gotta go. So yeah, I think we ultimately win this game. I mean, they're just too beat up too.
Yeah. I mean, the loss of Fletcher Cox would be a huge one for the Eagles, I think, like of all those players that were on the report. And our offensive line isn't too bad as is, but if the Eagles don't have a guy like Fletcher Cox, or I believe Derek Barnett was also on the injury report, might not force a lot of pressure. It might give us a lot more time to actually throw the ball down the field. But I do want to recognize once again, Protect Sports. Thanks, Tony, for joining. Son Moore, Tone once again, King Sean. Everybody's talking about Jalen Hurts right now. I think we'll do a pretty good job of containing Jalen Hurts. I think the Seahawks game against Russell Wilson, I think that was sort of very much telling of how much our defense has improved since the beginning of the season when we face guys like Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. I think us being able to contain, for the most part, Russell Wilson on the ground, except for like one long run, and even through the air, I think we could do sort of the same performance this week against the Eagles, especially because the Eagles might have a couple of offensive pieces missing, and I believe Deshaun Jackson was on the injury report, and I know they have Jalen Reagor, but I mean, I think if we contain Jalen Hurts on the ground, I think we have a very good chance of winning this game. And it should be a good one. I think our defense is up for the task. I think, everybody talks about the defensive line and it being like the best in the league, but like Rico said, our secondary ain't too shabby. It's one of the best actually in the league right now when you look at straight up stats. And Kendall Fuller has been balling out. Ronald Darby has been one of, if not the best offseason signings, in my opinion, for us. And we definitely need to get him here long term, the hometown product himself. But I think our secondary is really good. I think Cameron Curl has really stepped up and really is forcing us to maybe consider Landon Collins at outside linebacker next year because of how well he's playing. But yeah, I think our defense should do a pretty good job of containing Jalen Hurts and ultimately helping us win the game. But I do want to talk a little bit about our offense. Rico touched on this, but do you think we'll be able to generate enough points against the Eagles defense, especially after the performance that they had last week against the Cowboys that I know Brennan is very much familiar with? And we'll start with Brennan this time, actually.
Well, if Fletcher Cox a no-go, if Derek Barnett's a no-go, you target the corner who I said to target with multiple receivers, yeah, you can get some points. I don't see why not. I mean, their linebacker course, I think, is still weak.
Yeah.
Not really all that strong as safety. So, yeah, you all can definitely generate some points. Okay. It's just, like I said, no Cox, no Barnett.
Yeah.
And then when the Eagles have the ball contain Hurts in the pocket, you guys could probably easily win this game. If you all get 21, 24 points, game over.
Yeah, like that's what Rico said, right? 20 points and we win. What are your thoughts, Rico?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like you said, our offensive line isn't bad. I think it's top 15 in the league. It's definitely top half of the league, maybe like right at the bottom of the top half, but it's somewhere in the middle. It's not as bad as it was the first 5 weeks when we still had Wes Martin out there. Brandon Sheriff was hurt, and Jerron Christian wasn't terrible, but he's not Cornelius Lucas. So the offensive line, like if we go into 2021 with this exact offensive line, I'm actually pretty happy. But I do want to bring in some more people to compete. Maybe even sign a Joe Thuney. Yeah, Sadiq Charles come back. I mean, if you have to, try to go get a Joe Thuney, pay him, market setting money or whatever. And then Wes Schweitzer is the best backup guard in the NFL. And Brandon Sheriff is due to miss 4 or 5 games a season. So now you just have Wes Schweitzer to step in at right guard. So, yeah, I mean, I think this offensive line is pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. It's good enough. Antonio Gibson, healthy, is going to be potent. It's just – and receivers are going to be open because Scott Turner, I mean, he's inconsistent. He has some play calls that's like, why? And then he has some play calls where Logan Thomas is wide open, and it's not because of Logan Thomas. He's not fast. He's not a great route runner. Anytime Logan Thomas is open, you have to give Scott Turner his credit for that. And he's been doing a good job of getting him and J.D. McKissick open underneath. He even had one play when Taylor Heinicke was in the game where he sent Logan Thomas just deep, just straight, just run up past the safeties. And the Panthers weren't ready for it because, like, when does Logan Thomas ever do that? So, I mean, so Scott Turner, playing chess, has occasional bright moments, and along with some, I don't even know why he tried that play moments. Yeah. And I feel like we can definitely move the ball and put up points as long as Scott Turner does what he needs to do. And now that I think about it, I think I prefer Taylor Heinicke because I definitely want to see what he can do at the very least. Because y'all know I'm not sure if y'all do know, but I'm like Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, whoever. Yeah. And I at least want to see what Taylor Heinicke can do. I don't want to go into this playoffs scratching and crawling, and then we have to go against the Buccaneers or the Packers or somebody, and then we still don't have our answer at quarterback. I want to at least give Taylor Heinicke a chance to see what kind of ceiling he may have and what kind of floor he may have. Because I think at least after that fourth quarter, he's deserved a spot next season to at least compete for the starting quarterback position. I think he should at least be involved in the training camp battle. Even if it's 3 or 4 guys, I think Taylor Heinicke should be one of them. And I prefer to at least start the game. Like Burgundy and Gold fan said earlier, just start the game with them. Maybe you get a spark. If you don't, bring Alex Smith in later if you have to. Alex Smith is the type of quarterback. He's a veteran. He doesn't need the first and second quarter to really get ready for the third quarter. I don't think it's been like a warm-up thing for him as far as why our offense has been so anemic in the first half. I think he just hasn't been good generally. I think he can step in third quarter and give us what he's been giving us, even if Taylor Heinicke starts the first half and doesn't perform well.
Yeah. I think what you said at the beginning of your comments in regards to, the scheming, being really good on this offense. I think what you said actually sounds very familiar. It sounds very familiar to the Jay Gruden days when everyone knows that Jay Gruden as a head coach is terrible, but as an offensive sort of schemer of the football, of offenses, he's actually pretty solid in that aspect, but just wasn't really good in terms of making the right play calls all the time, right? Was super inconsistent. And we sort of see the same kind of things with Scott Turner. I think, again, with Heinicke or with Smith, I think we'll be able to generate enough points against the Eagles defense. Although I'm a little worried actually, and I haven't touched on this until now, but our running game against the Eagles, I know they probably might not have Fletcher Cox or Derek Barnett, but even outside of that, they're actually not, they're pretty solid against the run as we've seen throughout the year. And even in our first matchup against them in week 1, all the way back in week 1. But I'm a little worried about, Antonio Gibson. J.D. McKissic is probably still going to get catches out of the backfield, so not too worried about him. But Gibson potentially having a good game, I'm a little unsure about that. But I think we'll be able to move the ball down the field. I think we'll at least get field goals. The problem is, though, with this team, and it has been the problem for the last 5 to 10 years, is putting the freaking ball into the end zone and really getting touchdowns. And I am not confident in that aspect, whether it be with Alex Smith at the quarterback position or Taylor Heinicke. But I don't know. It should be interesting. I do think, though, we'll get to that 20 point threshold that Rico talked about a little bit earlier. But outside of, what our thoughts are on our offense and our defense being able to step up in this matchup, what are your actual predictions on who will win? And if you can, give me a score prediction for the game. We'll start with Brandon.
Washington wins 24-13.
Okay. So not super close then.
No, I just don't believe in Philadelphia at the end of the day, especially if they missing players and have some weaknesses at other positions as well.
Well, Rico, is your score prediction the same?
It's pretty close. I have us winning, and I'm somewhere like around 21-14. I don't really see them getting, because with how mobile Jalen Hurts is, they just seem to be a pretty efficient red zone offense team. And that's why I feel like Taylor Heinicke can help, because his mobility, it's just hard to stop a team for 20 yards over the course of three or more plays from scoring a touchdown. And I think if they move the ball well enough to even get into the red zone, I see them getting touchdowns each time they do, not necessarily kicking field goals. So I see us beating them like 21-14. Every time they go there, I think they score. But other than that, I just don't see them getting many opportunities to get there. I don't see them going 80 yards consistently. I think they're going to have 1 or 2 good-looking drives on offense on their side, and that's going to basically be it for the game.
Okay. I see everyone in the chat talking about my thoughts on like a running game. Again, like I think J.D. McKissic will do well regardless. I'm just a little worried about Antonio Gibson because of the fact that I know he's improved every single week, but he's still this is going to be his second week off the turf toe injury, and the Eagles aren't too much of a they're pretty decent when it comes to stopping the run. So I'm a little worried because of the fact that our run game hasn't been super consistent throughout the year. Although I do have confidence that we'll be able to run at least a bit and give our quarterback, whoever it is, some breathing room and some space to actually make throws on the field. But in terms of my prediction, I'm going to go with literally the same score prediction I've given the last couple of weeks. and say 23-20 Washington. I think Washington will be able to once again score enough points, and our defense will be able to stop the Eagles. But I do think Jalen Hurts will get into the end zone maybe a couple times, if not have Miles Sanders running up the gut for a touchdown. But I think ultimately we'll pull out the W, and we will win this sorry division, the NFC East. And but I do want to talk about the other matchup too, just in case Washington does lose. Brandon, Rico, what are your thoughts on the Giants versus Cowboys matchup? Do you think the Cowboys are they're going to continue their winning ways, or do you think the Giants will ultimately prevent the Cowboys, from winning the division? Right? If Washington loses, Giants might have a chance at 6-10 of winning the division. What are you guys' thoughts on that matchup?
Who's first?
I'll let Brandon go first.
All right. So, man, the average 3 turnovers a game is difficult. Giants still have a solid defense. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I believe more so in Andy Dalton than I will believe in Daniel Jones. So, yes, Dallas wins. Let's say 27-17.
There you go.
I can see that. So I mean, when fully healthy, both teams, I think the Cowboys are better, especially with Dak. I mean, Dak right now, if everybody were healthy, he's the best quarterback in the division. I feel like that's enough to win this division, as bad as it is. But as of right now, the Giants seem better. Like, if we're considering everybody that's hurt and out, the Giants are like the better team, but the Cowboys are playing better football, point blank period, the past couple of weeks. The Giants are not. I mean, they it seemed like they spent all of their health points on beating the Seahawks and just haven't recovered since. They just, all their momentum, all their steam just fizzled out, and I feel like they just don't have it anymore. I see the Cowboys winning. I think pretty convincingly too. Maybe something similar to how the Cowboys beat the Eagles, because I think the Eagles, even with their injuries, just the momentum Jalen Hurts had, may be able to beat the Giants right now. Because I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is just, man. I feel so sorry for Giants fans because I think Dave Gettleman is going to convince himself to keep him instead of taking one of these young quarterbacks coming up. And hip hip hooray for all of us, for the rest of our division. And Daniel Jones is just, I don't think he's good. I think the Cowboys win. I think honestly the Cowboys win this game. They're going again. I think the Giants are a better team today, with injuries included, but I think the Cowboys win. They're just playing better football, and I'll take Andy Dalton's consistency, just mid-tier average the whole time, than Daniel Jones's flashes and then random turnovers for no reason.
Yeah. Again, feels like throughout the stream this has been the case, but I completely agree with Rico. I think, Andy Dalton, the problems with him is usually in the playoffs, right? Like, once his teams get to the playoffs, he just never wins. But he actually has been pretty good in terms of getting his teams to the playoffs, kind of like an Alex Smith. And I think, he's probably going to be the difference maker in this game. I think the Cowboys also have a pretty good running back group, and Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. And that should definitely get their offense going and allow them to score some points. I ultimately think they will win 24-17 against the Giants. I think the Giants defense isn't too shabby. It's actually, pretty up there in this league. Like, it's actually been pretty surprising for a lot of folks out there who didn't think the Giants their defense wouldn't be good at all this year. But a guy like James Bradbury has very, very much shored up that defense. They also have a very stout defensive line. So I don't think, even with their quarterback situation being terrible right now, I don't think they should be looked at as pushovers in this matchup. And I ultimately think they'll come within a touchdown of winning this game. I do see that we have Redskins fan since 05 who has joined our stream, and I know you've been waiting patiently, but speak your mind about, whether it be this matchup, whether you want to talk about Brandon, the Cowboys fan himself, whether you want to roast him, anything you want to say.
It's funny. Okay, let's talk about focusing on beating the Eagles first. On this drive, we have to. The Eagles are trash so far, but they have to. The defense needs to pressure Jalen Hurts a lot into missing balls,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to second they need to cover the wideouts like tight ends, wide receivers, and prevent the Eagles are getting the wide open passes like third down and 15 or third
Yeah.
down third down or fourth down, some 3 and outs, prevent them. I've seen the Washington football team always uh that last game was horrible. They just letting them get the first down all the time.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
Eagles defense needs no the Washington defense needs to sack Jalen Hurts to the ground and choke him out. Let him
I,
not breathe.
I mean, I like how our red zone defense has very much improved this year, but I think the next
Uh-huh.
step
Ooh,
of our defense being really good is like doing what you said and sort of
third
containing.
downs, man.
Yeah, third downs is still a problem. It's still a
Yeah,
problem,
three and
even
out
with our
is so bad.
defense being top 10.
3 and out is so bad, honestly.
Yeah,
They need to improve with something like that.
yeah,
And this obviously we need to sign like a good wide receiver the offseason, either Allen Robinson or someone else.
yeah.
Or maybe we can sign Amari Cooper from the Cowboys.
He's already locked
Maybe
up long term though.
JK.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. We need to get a better wide receiver. So Allen Robinson is way much better than Amari Cooper so far, but
yeah.
I
I would
love
spend the
Allen
money.
Robinson.
Yeah,
I love
Allen
Allen
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too, man. Oh my God. He is so good.
Getting to
Always
see like
open.
games and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a whole highlight tape somewhere on YouTube of him always being open, but you see the ball go over his head or it just doesn't get thrown. It's so funny, bro. It's like a whole highlight tape of him just being
Okay.
open and not getting the ball. It's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. He always missed catches or something like that, or the quarterback's the problem
Yeah.
in the Bears.
Mhm.
The quarterback's the problem? Who's
Yeah,
the
definitely.
problem here?
Quarterback's ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
man.
Mitchell Trubisky's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been
Yeah.
playing better lately, but
Matchups.
Oh, oh
yeah,
my
I
man.
always, I always have this debate with like one of my good friends, who does like Chicago sports talk and stuff. But like,
okay.
I think you need to realize that like Trubisky, the last 4 weeks has had very soft matchups, and then when you look at like Foles, for example, in the middle part of the season,
Yeah.
even earlier than that, very
Yeah.
tough matchups. So I think matchups is pretty
Well,
much
it's tough, man. The
yeah,
Eagles, yeah, it's really tough between Nick Foles or Mitch Trubisky. They should keep Nick Foles out there, but I don't know if he's trash or not.
yeah.
The Eagles should have
It's
kept Nick
tragic.
Foles over Carson Wentz. That's my opinion.
I got a friend that said that too.
Oh,
To this,
thank
to this
you.
day, to this day,
Thank you.
Brandon.
Yep,
He said
thanks,
what?
Brandon, because
No problem, man.
because they won.
Do they say it to this day?
Yeah,
Huh?
because
No, I was just asking. Do they like? Does your friend says it to like to this day that like Nick Foles would have been the better alternative to Carson Wentz?
He said that before the offseason happened. That offseason when
Okay.
Nick Foles went down to Jacksonville.
that's true.
Oh,
And then
okay.
move on to the Bears now.
hmm
He's on the Bears. It's so bad, just Carson Wentz's manhood is gone because of the Nick Foles statue over the because of the Nick
Yeah.
Foles statue on the stadium because Carson Wentz gonna look that statue every single day for the rest of his life. Every year. Every
Yeah.
year, ever since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Philadelphia loves Nick Foles. It's sad.
They do. It's sad, man. It's all because the general manager, because the general manager of the Eagles need to get fired. I forgot his name.
Howie Roseman.
Howie Roseman. Yeah, he's a bum, man. He's a bum. He's a bum.
Actually, he's telling the truth too because I looked it up since the 2014 draft. Outside of Carson Wentz, the only two players that I like are Dallas Goedert and maybe Derek Barnett. Since the 2014 draft.
Wow, that Cowboy, you guys should have went for Dallas Goedert, but now the
Yeah,
Eagles took him
Eagles got
away.
him.
Now you got a better wide receiver in what's his name? What's his name? Good old rookie.
CeeDee
CeeDee
Lamb.
Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
That's right.
CeeDee. Now he got revenge. That's revenge against the Eagles.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee
Yeah.
Lamb. Are you gonna draft? Man, if you keep winning, you're gonna lose your draft spot. If you keep winning,
Well, we'll be all right. We'll be all right because I trust Will McClay to draft pretty well no matter where we pick. So I'm not worried about that. But thanks.
okay,
But
yeah.
but I mean, instead of addressing all your needs on defense in the
Yeah, all you
offseason,
need to
We,
do.
we
gotta
still look.
receive it.
Hold on, time out. Hey,
Uh-huh.
we still have a lot of picks.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
About
because
the
we have
money.
some compensatory picks from guys we lost this past off season. So we have a lot of draft picks. I just wanted more draft picks. That way we have more opportunities to hit on people.
Okay, but you need to get both offense and defense because you guys lost a lot of people.
Well, the players we lost on offense was mainly due to health. I mean, Dak went down to leg injury. Tyron Smith is injured. Lyle Collins didn't play all season. Zach Martin may not play Sunday. He hasn't played the last 5 or 6 games. We lost our number one tight end to injury. I mean, the only people we didn't lose to injury was our receivers and running game. But other than that, you're looking at offensive line, quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think your team's gonna win against the Giants. They have no chance.
Yeah, I mean, quarterback situation in New York right now.
In New York, and on the Eagles, right? Then they have a quarterback situation as well, and on the Eagles.
But I mean, I think we have more confidence in Jalen Hurts though than
but then Carson Wentz. But to me, the Eagles should have kept Carson Wentz out there for us to easy ticket, to win. You know? But now they got Jalen Hurts now, so what can we do? We have to contain a mobile quarterback. We suck against mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired. Like, why? Come on, defense. They keep getting gas all the time. They have to find the run game and then they have to contain it, make the pocket collapse, and boom, that's it.
That's why I want a mobile quarterback so bad. Please.
Yeah, but we
I want to put
Kevin
that same
Heineke.
pressure.
Yeah.
We have Tyler Heineken. He's a mobile quarterback, but he's not our future.
For sure.
But we need to get Zach Wilson.
I mean, I think Rico knows this by now. Brandon knows this. Zach Wilson's the guy that I want in this draft.
Yes.
If obviously we don't get Trevor Lawrence or anything, but
it's impossible.
19th
right?
pick,
Is it impossible?
Yeah, that's gonna be hard, man, to get Zach Wilson.
Yeah. We need to trade up. We have to trade up.
I'm actually working on a video. I already did all the research. I got to record it and edit it. Of all the trade up scenarios from the past few drafts since 2016, it's actually not that bad to move up into the top 10. You'd be surprised. So I'm gonna come out. I'm thinking I'm trying to think of an example. Somebody gave up their 20th pick and a third and a fifth or something like that, and was able to move up to the top 10. Because remember, we're not moving up to the top 3. That's when you start talking a whole bunch of first round picks and stuff like that. We just need to get in range of me. I'm more of a Trey Lance guy, but I would do jumping jacks for Zach Wilson also. I want all of them if I can.
The problem though is with Zach Wilson, I mean, we're probably the way things are going now, you might actually be a top 5 pick. Yeah.
Yeah, he might go second. He might go before Justin Fields lately. Yeah.
Brandon, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so since we're on that topic, can I make that a question on here?
Go ahead.
Okay. Rank your top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the draft. Okay, forget Trevor Lawrence. After Trevor Lawrence, rank your next 3 quarterbacks.
All right, bet.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zach
Wilson
number 1. Zach Wilson number 1.
Okay.
Trey Lance number 2, and that's Trey Lance and Justin Fields.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't want a Ohio State quarterback. I don't trust that
It's hard to trust them. They're so good.
Ohio State
pump out,
quarterbacks.
they pump
I
out
know,
pass
I
rushers,
know.
but they can't pump out quarterbacks.
We got a remember we got a bus in Haskins, Trashkins or whatever. We have a bus in Trashkins. He's so immature, but I don't know about Justin Fields, man. I don't know. Is he too immature? He's not that mobile, or he's inaccurate, just like Haskins. So I don't trust. Only those rely on those two is Zach Wilson and Trey Lance.
Okay, so I have an answer, but I'm gonna go last. So either Rico or Natty can go next.
Rico, go ahead.
Okay. So, well, first of all, as far as Justin Fields goes, I feel like the big difference between him and Haskins is that, first of all, he can't be as immature. Two, he was born and raised in Georgia, so I give points for that. Three, after Jalen Hurts, after Justin Herbert worked out so well from the Oregon offense, which is even worse at producing NFL quarterbacks than Ohio State, because Ohio State is obviously very bad. We've seen with Terrell Pryor, Cordell Patterson, all of these random guys that just haven't come out. I think, I feel like Justin Fields is different. It's more of a gut feeling. It's nothing I can really, anything extremely tangible I can prove. But I feel like, Justin Herbert, again, my main point, it was my last, but my biggest point is that we've seen Justin Herbert work at the next level. And Oregon is probably the worst as far as preparing a quarterback for the NFL. I mean, at least Justin Fields has an offensive line that gives him time to learn how to scan the field, receivers to get open so he can practice. Justin Fields, his receivers were never open. His offensive line was bad. They run wildcat and just spread offense. Like, it's like literally nothing related to what the NFL offense is. So the fact, if Justin Herbert can make it, I feel like Justin Fields can, but that's my main argument. I don't have anything tangible. I can't talk about Justin Fields' accuracy. I can't point out anything like that. More so, it's just the inspiration of Justin Herbert's existence and emergence as potentially being offensive rookie of the year. Because I coming out of college, I thought he was just gonna be just some guy. I definitely missed on Justin Herbert. I mean, I don't know how you can look at that offense from Oregon and be like, yeah, this guy's gonna be great. But I still have to admit where I'm wrong. I was wrong on Justin Herbert. But me, I'm a Trey Lance. You say what?
I said we cannot go back in time and get Justin Herbert. We cannot go back in time and get him.
But I still prefer Chase Young anyway, because I think we can get our quarterback this year. Huh?
I was gonna ask that though, as I guess as a sub question, do you guys are you guys still comfortable with the fact that we got Chase Young over Justin Herbert? Because I know that's something that I see on my timeline every single day with people debating it. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Chase Young, I love Chase Young. He's number one in my book. Yeah. Chase Young, number one. He's good. He should be defensive rookie of the year, number one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Yes.
But it's not even just the play on the field. He's like our Ray Lewis, our Brian Dawkins. He's the one running up and down the sidelines. I saw in the clip against the Panthers before the game. He's the one in the huddle before we even step out on the field, hyping everybody up. I think Alex Smith even said something about him grabbing them. I think it was Brandon Sheriff or Alex Smith. He grabbed one of them by the chest and was like, "Get your head in the game, let's go." He's that guy. He's the spirit of the team already. And I feel like you didn't draft a great player. You drafted a soul. You drafted an identity in Chase Young. I love the way he trash talks too. I love all of that. So I don't regret it. I feel like Chase Young with whatever we take in this first round over Justin Herbert and whoever else we may have taken in this first round. That's what I feel like. You got to compare. You can't compare Chase Young to Justin Herbert. You got to do both drafts and then compare them. I feel like.
Just Chase Young. Oh no. Just Sean Taylor similar to Chase Young, to hyping up the crowd on the sidelines like that. The Sean Taylor did that back in 2005.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think Chase Young is more vocal though. Sean Taylor wasn't as vocal. He was the spirit of the team because of how he hit. It was more so in his play on the field. Chase Young's play on the field, and he's the one. I mean, again, I think it was Brandon Sheriff. Brandon Sheriff said he grabbed him by the chest and was like, "Get it together." I mean, rookie versus 7-year veteran grabbing him by the chest, telling him to get his head in the game.
Brandon Sheriff is right. He's a dog, man. Brandon Sheriff is a dog.
Mhm.
Just like you give him a little a slap in the give him a little a wake up call, or give him a
Mhm.
wake up call, and then get in your hand again, and you can be fine. You'll be fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
my. Yep.
I think like Rico said, I think it just comes down to the fact that like now we have Chase Young, we have a generational talent, and now we're about to go after a quarterback in the draft. So I would take that over Justin Herbert. I know Justin Herbert has been super impressive. A lot of fantasy players out there know that as well, but I just like Chase Young is the total package, right? He gives you everything you want out of a defensive end on the field, and he's also a leader. He's also someone who, really energizes the entire team. And I just think, those sort of talents, like Mike Tomlin said in that mic'd up
Mhm.
after the Steelers game,
Yep. He did.
I don't think many coaches want to lose enough to get a Chase Young type of talent because of how special he is. But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's a great, great consolation prize for losing so much. And ultimately, I'm just really happy that we
Yes.
got him. Brandon,
Yes.
I don't know, from the outside looking in, do you think we made the right decision in getting Chase Young and maybe getting a quarterback this year over just getting a short thing and Justin Herbert at the quarterback position?
Okay, so first let me go back to my original question,
Go
then
ahead.
I'm gonna get back to yours. I do rank Kyle Wilson ahead of Trey Lance and then ahead of Justin Fields. Two
Lance over
sources,
Fields or Fields over Lance?
Lance over Fields, and here's the reason why. What I'm
Mhm.
hearing about Fields, and I'm getting this from two of my sources.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
He has a bad,
Okay.
he has a bad internal clock. So you don't want a quarterback that's going to sit there and hold the ball too long. If he really, maybe you can coach that out of him, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a problem. Look, the reason why Justin Herbert developed is because their quarterback coach Pep Hamilton took the time to develop him and had him ready at the last second. Like that's rare. Because you remember Tyrod Taylor was supposed to play that game, but he had a collapse lung because of the needle
The trainers, yeah.
the
Terrible.
trainers. Yeah.
Man, the
So
needle
for
on his.
so in my opinion, for a rookie quarterback to be ready at the last second says a lot about the quarterback coach. So I don't know
Mhm.
I don't know how good y'all quarterback coach is as far as
Because
developing players,
Ken
but
Ah,
Zambezi, he's good. He's okay. Ken Zambezi's a good quarterback coach, in my opinion. In my
the
I think the
best
jury's still
Baker
out on him.
Mayfield, the best Baker Mayfield year we've ever seen him have, even better than what he's having right now. His rookie year was because of Ken Zampese. He couldn't get out of Dwayne Haskins, but again, I just don't. I think this whole organization as a whole didn't even like Dwayne Haskins. They may have tried. I don't believe they
Yep.
tried their hardest to make it work out. I mean, at the end of the
Nope.
day, and Dwayne Haskins didn't
Did
try his
Haskins try
hardest to go back.
exactly?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's both
yeah.
ways. I
Yes.
think it's definitely both ways. I feel
The
like when we
entire
draft a
locker room
quarterback,
doesn't like
You know what?
Dwayne
You know what?
Haskins.
You know what? They probably gave up on Haskins from the jump because they probably saw how he was
Right.
probably doing some more
yeah,
stuff inside that we don't even know about.
Right.
yeah, showing
Right.
up late to meetings
Right.
and so yeah, and they was like, all
That's
right, yeah, we
true.
just yeah.
Yeah. The entire locker room doesn't like this kid. He's so immature, man. He's stupid. He's immature. He broke protocol twice, and then he has a lot of chances, and he just burned the bridge on all five of them. He just
Mhm.
burned the bridge. Von Miller is giving Dwayne chance after chance after chance after chance after chance, and Dwayne Haskins burned the bridge between bet, bet, burned the bridge, man. He burned the bridge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
Brandon, though, to like address like your quarterback
With the Chase Young
draft
thing.
question. Yeah, no, I was gonna address
Oh,
like your question about the
okay.
quarterback like
Yeah.
draft order, I guess. Before getting into our last
Uh,
question, but
what
I would say, oh, go ahead.
yeah, it says about the cute little dog. Oh,
Oh,
he just wants some attention.
did you put the dog up, Rico? I didn't even see it.
Oh
Yeah.
no, no, she jumped on me. She's right
Uh,
here. The other one sleeps somewhere, and then here
Uh-huh.
she is. Here's the
Oh,
new
she's so
uh,
cute.
one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. About Dwayne, he says Dwayne burned the bridge of Ron's war. Ron Riverboat Ron. He burned the bridge of Riverboat Ron.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
And
But
if you made him mad, then he'll fire you.
yeah,
Yeah.
we saw that with
Well, you
Darius
seen that.
Price. Yeah, we saw that.
Trent
with other guys.
Williams, Quentin Dunbar, gone. If you're not 110% in, he doesn't
Right.
want 75, he doesn't want 80, you're gone. He doesn't care how talented you are.
100%. Right.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Brody?
The duck.
Come here,
Okay.
brother. Come here.
Oh.
That's this one. He's heavier, but here he is.
If you want to see more of
Uh-huh.
Rico's dogs, make sure to go sell up his channel and
Yeah.
see the videos he puts
Street
out.
scores.
Yeah, you plug that in.
Those have street scores, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'll put the link in the description.
Oh, yes,
Thank you,
please.
thank you, thank you.
Please do. Sub to this guy. He's such a great YouTuber,
Yes.
man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yes, I didn't I wanted to say my quarterbacks too, because y'all know me.
Yeah.
I'm Trey Lance all the way.
Okay.
I feel like Zach Wilson is safer,
Mhm.
but I feel like for what Scott Turner wants to do, I feel like Trey Lance is the best fit. He's the fastest. He has out of the top 4 guys, he has the strongest arm. But he played the lowest level of competition. He only played 1 year, but at the same time, that 1 year was it was special, man. No interception, 40-something touchdowns. And he's already running I formation, single back. He's already IDing potential blitzers and changing the blocking schemes and all of that. He already knows how to, if he wants to throw it this way, he'll look this way to move the safety that way. Like, he already knows a lot of little things that even Haskins at this point hasn't learned. But he is drastically inconsistent because of his footwork. I feel like if Ken Peace can get with him, his mechanics can become more consistent, his footwork can become more consistent. I feel like he has the most potential out of all of the quarterbacks, but between him and Justin Fields, they're the least safe, I feel like.
Does Lance remind you, Rico, more of sort of like a Josh Allen type, and the fact that like he's like super raw and like has really good arm strength, very good mobility, but like just is inconsistent, but that could like improve with coaching? Do you think that's a fair comparison?
It's kind of weird because he's not as inaccurate, because Josh Allen's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks I've ever seen into the NFL. I mean, the Bills deserve all of the praise in the world for being patient with him those first 2 years and it actually working out. And also big shouts out to Josh Allen for actually improving. You just don't see that. That's an extremely rare trait, to be that bad at something and to be able to find a way to fix it. So, I mean, again, Trey Lance is not that inaccurate. He's inconsistent at times. But, I mean, if you literally just look at a Trey Lance highlight tape, you think he's the best quarterback of all time. His problem is inconsistency. It's not that he can't do things. Like, some people, it's just like Josh Allen just wasn't accurate ever. Like, that was his problem. Trey Lance can do everything, but he just does it so inconsistently. It scares you. But I feel like at the worst, you have a guy that's like 85% Lamar Jackson speed. And at the very worst, you can run something similar to what the Ravens do with Lamar Jackson until Trey Lance is ready to become a better passer. Because, again, I mean, he has that release. You know how people were all over Jimmy Garoppolo, quickest release in football. Trey Lance has a really similar, just fume type of, Aaron Rodgers-like release. Nowhere near the accuracy, of course. Don't want to compare him to Aaron Rodgers. But he has that quick release that you just can't teach. He has the arm strength you can't teach. He has the speed you can't teach. And I'm always like this with anything when it comes to any position. Running back, wide receiver, you take the guy with the most potential, the most talent, and you pay your coaches millions of dollars for a reason to develop those guys. This last season showed me that we can develop guys in general. We haven't done it with quarterback yet, but I've seen, with Cameron Curl, Cornelius Lucas, reemergence, J.D. McKissick, Ronald Darby came back onto the scene. Wes Schweitzer was just some no name from Atlanta. We developed him into a good player. I feel like if we
kind of like an Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers is a great example. So I feel like, quarterback is harder to hit on.
Why
of course.
We get him back?
One of
I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Crap.
But it was only like $2 million a year more. I think we offered him 10. He wanted 12. I'm like, just give him the 12. It's not that bad. Like, what is that extra $2 million?
Yeah.
But it's worked out. It worked out for both of us. Now we have Wes Schweitzer and Brandon Sheriff. So
Also,
think
got to
it's
look at the
replacement.
contract too, right? It's not
Yeah.
just about like his cap hit per year. Maybe there's
Mhm.
more guaranteed money. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah, true.
a lot of things.
How much cap we have now? How much cap
So
Y'all
this
have
a
offseason,
20 million
we have
almost?
50.
this
50.
off season? Like 12.
And that's before you subtract Alex Smith 25 mil, right? Well, technically 15 mil because it'd be 10 mil dead cap. So technically we have 60. If you move on from Alex Smith, which I would
Yeah.
suggest.
We have to cut Sprinkle. We have to cut Sprinkle. Yes, number one
That's
Sprinkle.
Ed's boy,
Alex
right?
Smith. What?
Ed Oliver. that's Ed's boy. Every sprinkle.
Ed boy. Yeah. Number one Sprinkle. Two is Alex Smith because he's taking a lot of money. And
25.
25. Damn. We need to cut this
Our
guy,
highest cap
man.
hit. Mhm.
Highest. That's not good, man. That's not good.
He would be he would be in the top 10 of highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL on one leg, and even on his best day with two legs. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback.
And his contract is
Yes.
like we could cut him. Like it's not like we're gonna take
Yeah.
up a lot of dead money or anything. Like we
Yes.
could cut him.
Yeah, we'll take 10 million this year, and then that's
Yeah.
it. Next year we're completely free. Like 2022,
Yes.
he's off the books
Yeah.
completely.
I'm
The only
happy with
bad
that.
contract left is Landon
Yeah.
Collins after Alex
Yeah.
Smith is gone.
17 million.
Is Thomas Davis cut? Is Thomas Davis going to retire this season?
Oh, he already said he's retiring.
Yeah, he did.
Good.
Yeah, Thomas
Then-
Davis retired.
Okay.
He's done.
Then we don't need him anymore. Then he's so slow.
Yeah, I mean he's old. It was just like I didn't expect much out of him. I was happy for
Right.
him to be here during training camp, helping with practices
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because I remember there was one clip. There was one clip they showed. Like I forgot he came to Ron Rivera. He left the team. He went to Ron Rivera. Was like such and such and such and such. And Ron Rivera was like, yeah. All he needed to do was ask like I think it was like 5 words. And Ron Rivera was like, yeah. And then Thomas Davis translated that yeah to like a whole 3 sentences to the rest of the team. So like that's what he was there for. To speak Ron Rivera's language in a way that players can understand. And beyond that, I wasn't expecting much. It was just like that was after that.
Yeah, I wanted Thomas Davis to cut the clip, get the clipboard as a linebackers coach.
Yeah, I'm down.
Maybe.
He's
Maybe.
good.
Smart guy.
Although he
he's
said he
good.
did not want to coach. He said he wanted to
Ah.
wanted to do something with broadcasting over a coach.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I would prefer
can he
that
be,
too.
can he be a Washington football team analyst? Can he do that just like London Fletcher? Just like
NBC
London
Sports
Fletcher did.
I don't know. He might not have enough rapport, but I mean, he could try.
But I hope so because I like him.
I do want to say
him.
though, before because our stream is about to be over, I do. So first off, I want to give my list of like quarterbacks, and then I want to dive into our last question for the stream. Very quickly though, I do want to say my list goes like this. So obviously we have Trevor Lawrence, and then for me, since day one, literally since the first game of this season, I've been saying Zach Wilson has legit potential of being a really good quarterback in this league.
He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, at this point, I have him actually as my number 2 quarterback over Justin Fields. But then I have Fields and I have Lance, Rico's guy. And then after that, I probably have a combination of Mac Jones, Desmond Ridder, which I know Roger Smith actually mentioned in the chat that might be a good fit in our offense. In particular, he does have that mobility. And then I guess the lesser of those options would be Kyle Trask because we all saw what he did yesterday and wasn't really too good of a performance.
I don't trust Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
We saw him for the first time without a guy like Kyle Pitts and I believe Tooney, right? I think that's the wide receiver, the really good wide receiver for Florida wasn't playing as well. So, but then again, if we have enough weapons on offense, maybe we could draft Kyle Trask and he could thrive.
I just want a quarterback that elevates us and not us to elevate the quarterback. Like I'm tired of our team having to help the quarterback. I want the quarterback to help us type of thing. I want to
help us lead to victory. That's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And soon, we need to draft a free safety.
Oh yeah, sure.
We've been lacking the secondary, the free safety. You know, been lacking.
Free agency or Anthony Harris, Justin Simmons, please. I'll pay them whatever they want. I'll pay them
Yeah.
before I play. I love Allen Robinson, but I think free safety is a bigger need than wide receiver
Yeah.
too.
But Rico, see, the problem is you don't want to put
problem.
too much of your cap dollars into one position, right? Which is the safety
Landon Collins,
Landon Collins, yes.
Trey
that's a
Landon,
good point.
or,
Yeah, that's
or
a
maybe
great
moving
point.
down,
Yeah.
moving down.
Yeah.
That's a great
Natty.
point.
Contract. We
Go
can
ahead, Brandon.
structure Lennon's
Now,
contract.
I was the one that told you that.
No, I always felt this. You reiterated a point that I already believed, but I
No,
promise you, I already knew this.
no. You told me you wanted Allen Robinson, and I said, look, you about to pay Terry McLaurin $20+ million.
About to though, about
Huh?
to, right? There's a difference between his contract being up imminently, right? And then we actually have to worry about that a little bit later. I think like we can worry about that a little bit later. We need to really win with all of our guys on the defensive line. Being here in DC, right? Because we can't keep all of them 3-4 years down the road. So I think we need to put all of our cards in and really do what sort of like what the Bills did, right? With the quarterback on a rookie contract, but in our case, it would just be the defensive line being so costly down the road. So I think we just need to again really provide whatever quarterback we get with enough weapons. And on our defense, though, it's gonna be tough to have Landon Collins, 17 million. Justin Simmons, probably 16 million at least. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
We need to reconstruct those contracts, you know.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Yes, and that's in the future. We have to focus on the if Heineke or Heineken lead us to victory.
Yeah.
We need to sign him. Or we need to extend his contract a little bit because if he leads us to the playoffs, so
maybe the jury's still out on him. We'll see if he performs. But I do again like one last question because I know it's New Year's Eve. Want to make sure you guys enjoy your night. But last question, and this really brings in Brandon. Who do you think is best shaped to run this division over the next couple of years? Out of obviously Washington, New York, Dallas, Philadelphia. Do you think Washington might be the team to beat over the next couple of years? And do you think a team in this division might actually be a legit Super Bowl contender within a couple of years? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on this division and its future in the NFL? And we'll start with whoever wants to go first.
I want Rico to go first.
What?
All right. I feel like if we hit on quarterback, we're the best team. Because like I said, the Giants have already, it seems like Dave Gettleman, he's just one of those guys, he feels like he's smarter than everybody. He's going to force this Daniel Jones situation until Daniel Jones's contract is up, I believe. So I think whoever has the best quarterback in the division is going to be the best team in the division. Right now, Dallas easily, as of how our rosters are constructed today, if everybody's healthy, they're the best team in the division because they have the best quarterback in the division. It's only but so, I mean, I love Chase Young, I love the defense, but it's only but so much they can do against a bona fide quarterback. It's just not, it's only but so much you can do. So I feel like if we hit in the draft, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, whoever, if we get that franchise guy that Scott Turner loves, because Ron Rivera's already shown that he goes off of Scott Turner's recommendations. That's the only reason we took Antonio Gibson. That was Scott Turner's guy. So Scott Turner, Kenzan Peace, all of them agree on the guy that they want to groom, they'll be patient with. I feel like we'll be the best team in the division because we have the best defense. I feel like Terry McLaurin is the best receiver in the division. I think Amari Cooper's close, but he just drops too many easy passes. And he has other receivers around him to help him be open, whereas Terry McLaurin is basically just getting it out the mud. I mean, he's the only one out there putting in work at the receiver position. He's separated himself. And again, if we just hit on quarterback, I think we have the best team in the division. It's just literally that simple. I feel like even if we go next year with, say, Taylor or like a Kyle Allen, we won't be too far behind Dallas. We may, beat them once. They may beat us once. But I feel like we hit on quarterback, it's our division. We're Super Bowl contenders immediately. I think that's literally all that's been holding us back this season is quarterback play.
Yep, I'll go next.
Okay.
Next, we need to So, what is the question again?
So, in terms of the NFC East, what team in our division do you think is best shaped to run the division over the next couple of years and win some divisional crowns?
Yeah, if we have to get our future quarterback with our future quarterback, and then we can be if we get the offensive line improved, like get more weapons in there, and the defense as well will be an elite team that goes on for that will go on the future of
Mhm.
this franchise. And hopefully we can change the name to not just the Washington football team, then the Washington Red Wolves or something like that.
Yeah.
The name change. I like the Red Wolves. It looks so epic, you know.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah, and hopefully the I want to see some competition in the Cowboys and the Eagles. I want to see some competition because right now, 2020, it's not that good. We can easily beat those teams. I want to see some competition in
So
the
you want
NFC.
everybody to be at the top of their game and then have our division thriving, basically.
Yes, I want that. I don't want the NFC East to be a laughing stock. You know
It
what I mean?
surely is right now. It sure
Yeah,
is.
look, back in the 80s and 90s, we were the top of the top, man. But now we are at the some we are some trash heap or something like that now. We're the trash heap of the division.
Yeah.
We're the we're uh some bottom of the barrel we where all the trash comes in, you know, and I just want the NFC East be dominant again.
Yeah. That's fair. Brandon,
What
what
do
are
you think?
your
What do you think, Brandon?
Okay, so but Rico, now you say the quarterback position holds you back, but our defense is holding us back. So if we get our defense straight, we're gonna be just as good as you guys can be.
Wow.
I mean, well, probably not like just defensive line, but just like defense period. So um, I mean, you all have to hit a quarterback and you have to develop him. But if you don't, then it's Dallas.
Mhm.
If you do, it's probably Dallas until your quarterback is proven. Philadelphia is going to be the worst over the next 3 years because their salary cap situation is horrible.
Yep.
Terrible.
It's horrible.
It's
I mean,
horrible. I agree. Because they signed a lot on Carson Wentz. They made a huge mistake on it.
Yeah.
That's a big.
Paying
That
the
was on
consequences.
wasn't
that, that's on
well, it's also not
Rosen.
just Carson
That's
Wentz
on
either.
Howie
It's also like they
Roseman.
have a lot of old veterans on bad contracts.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man. Yep.
The Super
That's
yeah,
Bowl win
true.
does for you.
Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl, but
That
it's
is the carnage after a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
of course yes. It's over for the. It's. I want the Eagles to suck because they don't deserve to win another Super Bowl. No.
They already got theirs,
Well,
yeah.
they already got
Same
there,
with the
but they
Giants too.
won
Two in our lifetimes.
two, two.
Yeah.
But
in
one
whose
in two.
lifetime?
But yeah, we have. I, I want this team to. I want the Washington football team. Yeah, four. They won
In
four.
my
We need to.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Yes, I want the
Fair.
Washington football team to win one more Super Bowl to match.
Okay, so in terms of who's gonna run the East, I
Are
think
we gonna run the
something
East next year? The
I,
next
I
3 years?
think I think honestly, we don't even need to draft a quarterback to hit
Mm-hmm.
on the quarterback position because of how good our defense is. I think if we pick up someone like a Matthew Stafford through trade, or maybe someone,
Mm-hmm.
someone else, maybe like maybe not so much a Matt Ryan, but someone like that, right? That's like
No,
a
take
veteran
Dak.
quarterback that is a proven
Take
winner.
Dak.
Or Dak, I mean,
Take
that would
Dak.
be a home run.
Yes,
Like
it's a
if we
home
got Dak,
run. Yes,
but
if
the
we got
chances
Dak.
of that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the chances of that are
It's slim.
probably pretty
It's
slim
slim.
at this point. But I think our defense. I think our defense, again, our defensive line is the best unit in the NFC East, and will carry us to a lot of wins in the next couple of years because of the fact that maybe 4 or 5 years down the line we'll have to worry about re-signing guys, but the next couple of years, a lot of our guys are already locked up, to contracts, and outside of maybe Jonathan Allen, who would be on his option, I believe, next year. I think
Final
most of our
year.
guys will be locked up long term for us. So I
Yeah.
think when you have that, you have the secondary playing the way it has. You have guys like Logan Thomas, J.D. McKissick, right? Guys that you don't spend a lot of money for, but always outperform their contracts, which we've seen the last couple of years with Kyle Smith being, the de facto GM, I think we're best shape to really win this division in the next couple of years. And I think what Dominique Foxworth talked about a couple of weeks back with us, potentially our Super Bowl window potentially opening up next year. I mean, I think that's a legit possibility. I've been thinking about like making this sort of video, right after this regular season ends, but making a video about our Super Bowl chances in the next couple of years. But I think we're very much shaped to really run the East next couple of years. And I think, again, if we get the right quarterback, right, it doesn't have to be someone we draft high in the draft, in my opinion. It could be someone like a Matthew Stafford. Get some guys at the wide receiver position in the offseason or in the draft. Maybe add another tight end. Maybe add a running back late in the draft. Sky's the limit for this team.
Linebacker? Are we straight on linebacker?
I think if we move Landon Collins down, and we already have Cole Holcomb, right? That shores up 2 of the spots. Maybe
and Kevin Pierre-Lewis is pretty good too.
Yeah. We need a third linebacker. Yeah.
We have to trade Ryan Anderson. We need to trade Ryan Anderson away.
I think it's too late for that.
It's too late? What happened?
I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, he is free agent.
Damn. Okay. We have to cut him, I guess.
Or, not resign him.
Is he a center? I forgot his position.
Ryan Anderson?
Ryan Anderson, yep.
He's a edge player, defensive end.
Are we good on defensive end?
It's just fine to me. Just fine to me. I mean, I'm not sure we're going to resign Ryan Kerrigan, so we may need depth, but we don't need to go get somebody big or nothing.
Yeah, of course. We don't need Ryan Anderson anymore. We got Ryan Kerrigan, but I don't know how long he can play.
Yeah.
It's up to his youth, man. He is a big man, but he's been with us since 2011.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to actually end the stream on, recognizing Ryan Kerrigan and all the good work he's done for our franchise. But thank you guys so much for joining the stream. And it was another fun one. We got some Boston football talk on here. We got some division talk. That's so important at this time of year. So thank you guys so much. Happy New Year to everyone in the chat, everyone on the stream. Enjoy the rest of your New Year's Eve. And hopefully we ring in 2021. And 2021 is a very good year, right? Something that we haven't gotten this year.
Yes. Are you guys gonna watch the ball drop?
Is it dropping this year in New York?
It is dropping, but it's just that no one's in New York. I mean, they're in New York City, but they're not around Times Square.
They're not on Times Square. It's live streaming on YouTube.
Might watch it on TV. We'll see.
Okay.
But I've lived there for 5 years and never went.
Oh, you never went?
I've never. It's just too crowded, bro. It wasn't even worth it. I went to the Atlanta version because it's more of like an event and like it's smaller. It's not as crowded, so it's a little bit more fun. New York one is like you got to get your 5 hours.
I never went to Times Square, but I always went to bars to celebrate New Year's Eve all the time. But that is taking off. It sucks, but I cannot go to bars anymore because of the pandemic.
Yeah. It sucks, but we'll get through it. And again, hope you guys have a great rest of your night and Happy New Year. Peace.
Happy New Year.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Also, go sub up Rico's channel, Street Scores, if you haven't already. The description will be, or the link will be in the description.
I can't do it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Peace.
Thanks again, man.